if 2022 was a year wherein certain one-off short-term themes played up, it was PSU Bank. I'm not saying PSU banks are short-term, may well have a long runway. I'm just saying it was a start of a theme which might be debatable. So between market participants, so PSU banks, some degree of defense, a bunch of other things came up, and the regulars, the performers of the last 2 years, be it IT, specialty chemicals, pharma, all took a back seat. How do you think 2023, therefore, behaves in terms of some of these high decibel performers of 2022?
I think the 2022 performers were having actually a story behind them, and there were a lot of fundamental changes taking place. Say, for example, in the banking space, I think a long sort of period of consolidation has happened, and also you have that whole cycle of high NPAs and low capital availability. All this, I think, has been reasonably addressed by most banks. And I think now, because there is going to be there's going to be private sector investment in new projects. Hopefully, till now, government was the only investor in town. So I think if that is going to happen, I think credit growth also will be quite strong. So against this background, I don't see the banking sector sort of performance ebbing out anytime soon. I think that is a theme that will probably play for some more time. Defense also, I think fundamental changes have taken place from being only an importer of defense equipment. I think there's a lot of impetus on doing it domestically. And so therefore, I think there is a fundamental change. I don't think these trends change dramatically in the short term. I think at least it will play for the medium term. And in terms of the others underperformers, I think IT is having a structural slowdown. I think one needs to worry about it because, I mean, for the first time, I think since IT became fashionable probably in the 90s, first time I'm hearing there are employee number contractions, which has never been heard till now. So therefore, I think there is a fundamental change taking place. Even though, of course, they're able to show some top line growth, but I think margins are an issue. So I think there will be probably some re-rating happening in IT. Pharma, I think, had a good time during COVID, but thereafter, I think things have come back to normal. So I think more of the same is what I would vote for in terms of sector selection.
By banking continuing, you constructive on PSU banks as yet? They are no longer at the Nadir valuations.
Well, I think, see, the delta in PSU banks is very high. That is, they are extreme in both cases, in the sense that, when NPAs hit, they are hit very badly. In fact, I think capital adequacy itself becomes a big issue there. And RBI has to really change the rules in order to accommodate them. But when things go well, I think they do really well because they dominate the market, dominate the credit market even today. So therefore, I think the delta is very high. So therefore, from very low single-digit Ps, they can at least go to very low double-digit Ps. So that is where I think they are now stuck. I mean, they're still low single-digit Ps, most of them. So I think things can change. And this consolidation game that has happened in PSU banks, where several banks have merged and become, large banks. So I think that benefits of that integration, that synergy is yet to play out. I think if that is done well, if that is executed well, I think there's a separate story there.